Hello and welcome to this Pilates mat flow. We'll be using the mini ball. This is part 2 of 2. You're always welcome to try part 1. We're going to be using that ball, doing some spinal articulation, so it will be placed underneath your lumbar spine. So lay yourself down, feet on the mat, hips are lifted, ball is supporting that lower back. We're going to lift the right leg and we're going to just do our toe taps. Tap the foot down, lift the foot up, finding that stability now. That ball is underneath the hips. Moving through the right leg, hinging at the hip. Just moving to getting a little bit of awareness through the body. Now switch it to your left leg, moving through that left hip, hinging down and up with the left leg, pulling that belly in. Shoulders and arms support you as we do this toe tapping. Now bring both legs to tabletop, balancing on your ball. Single leg toe tap now. Tapping the foot down away from you, hinging from those hips. Nice and steady through the torso with those hips lifted. Pull the belly in to stabilize your pelvis. You can always do this single leg work laying down on your mat without the ball. Lower both feet there, take a breath. All right, very nice. Set yourself back up into tabletop. Arms now reach up to your ceiling or up to the sky as we do the single leg toe tap, adding overhead arm extension now. Testing your balance. Arm reaches away as your leg reaches away. Careful not to flare your chest as the arm goes overhead or arch through the lower back as you bring your foot down towards your floor. Nice and steady through the hip and the shoulder hinging here. Coordinating this movement, find your balance on that ball, move with control and use your breath here. Lower the feet, lower your arms, take a breath, remove your ball for a moment and breathing here. Your ball now is going to come behind your calf. We're going to stretch out your hamstrings with the hamstring pull. We're scissoring those legs. Press that calf into that ball. Pull that ball towards your calf as you pulse and switch your legs. Lift those shoulders, reach your arms. You're crunching through the upper abdominals while keeping your lower abs engaged as your leg lowers to the floor. Stretching out through our hamstrings here as you scissor, using that ball, a little bit of reciprocal pressure with the calf into that ball. Take a breath here. Very nice. Rock out your hips there, good with the abs warming up. We're taking that ball in between your ankles now. We're coming into the 100 prep. Legs will be in tabletop. Well, let's just come into our chest lift as you reach your arms beside your body. Lower the head, arms go overhead. Staying connected through the front rib cage as we lift and lower those arms and the head. Legs are steady here. The ball is squeezed in between your ankles there as you set yourself up for the full 100. Take a breath, lift up, reach your legs long, and we pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathing as we pump those arms nice and strong beside your body, beating those arms. Legs are reaching, the ball is not moving. Inner thigh stay active here. Those legs can be up to the ceiling or low to the floor. Whatever you need, making sure that transverse abdominal is engaged. Resting now, take a breath. Rock the hips side to side, relaxing for a moment or two. We're going to sit ourselves up now, and we're going to transition into some back extension work. We did a lot of forward flexion there, so now we shall come into a quadruped position. We're going to do a bird dog, so it's opposite arm, opposite leg extends on our hands and knees. You can slide your ball forwards and backwards as your leg lifts and lowers behind you. Now you can bend your leg and pick the ball up and reach that arm behind you as you lift your leg. Lower your leg, lower your hand, come back into that all fours position. It's a lift, and then back extensor muscles, hamstrings and glutes are working here as the opposite leg lifts and your arm reaches. Big arm circle through that shoulder, and then find your balance as you come back to center. Switch it over. Let's try the other side. Reach the arm forwards as your leg lifts behind you, making sure you're not arching through that back and the hips not rotating. Hips and shoulders face the mat as you reach out. Then you can pick the ball up, big arm circle, bend your back leg. Your hand and foot don't have to meet, but you're reaching upwards and behind you. Find your balance as you do this movement. Lower with control. Last time here, pick the ball up, big arm circle, reach that foot up and lower down to rest. Nice work on that quadruped. We're coming down now, transitioning into prone. A little bit more back work. Using the ball if you want to. It will be out in front of you. You can lay all the way down as you lift up through your upper back muscles, lower back down with the exhale. Inhale from the back of the head and the shoulders. Exhale to lower, making sure the shoulders don't shrug up here. Plug the shoulders down, scapula is down as you lift and lower. Legs are relaxed on your mat, but active here through those glutes, pulling the belly in and up. Now we're swimming. Legs will lift as you flutter them out. Stay lifted through your upper back. Press your hands into the ball to lock down the shoulders. Lift a little higher as we kick your legs behind you. Nice and steady with your pelvis. Last breath here. Reach those legs long. And then lower those legs here and take a breath. Rock your hips side to side. Your ball now is going to come back underneath that sternum bone, so in between the chest, on your forearms if you wish for your single leg kick. It's a bend of the knee, heel to the glute with a hamstring contraction. You can point and flex your foot as you do the kick. Staying lifted off that ball, pull the belly in and up so the back stays long, and contract the hamstring and the glute to bring that heel to the bottom. Couple more here, flexing the foot, pointing through your foot, and then you can sit it back into that child's rest pose, round out through your lower back, rock your hips side to side, take a breath. We're coming into some side work. Now we're going to come into a side lying position. Rest your head on that bottom arm. Your top arm is holding the ball in front of your chest. We're going to lift up from that underneath side and lower down. You have the option to lift and lower your legs as you lift up from that bottom armpit. Staying balanced in this side lying position. As you lift up and your legs lift, making sure your top hip doesn't roll back. Use your ball for balance, pressing the hand into the ball, but keep that top shoulder locked down away from your ear. You're just lifting into a little bit of a banana shape and lowering with control. You can reach that arm up, find your balance, and take it down to the mat. Sitting up, switching over to the other side. We'll try it on this side, remembering that one side is always a little weaker for our balance. See how we go on this side. Shoulders stay stacked, hips stay stacked as you lift up through that underneath side, and those legs can lift off your mat as well. Exhale, use the obliques to lift you up and lower with control. Use that ball for a little bit of balance by pressing your hand into the ball as you lift and lower all the way back to that side lying position. Pull the belly in, contract those oblique muscles to get that banana shape. Reach your arm up, test your balance on this side, and lower all the way to the mat. Take a rest there. Nice work with that side flexion work. We're going to come up to a seated position for our seated spine twist. So sit tall on a block if you need to, or bend your legs to keep your shoulders over those hips with a nice straight spine, twisting to your left and your right, just through that thoracic spine. Anchor those hips to the floor. Legs don't move as we rotate to the right and to your left. You can press those hands into that ball or into a cushion or a towel if you're using that. Rest for a moment here. We're adding on, if you want to, with overhead arm extension. Press those hands into whatever you're using and continue to rotate the shoulders and the ribs while keeping your legs nice and steady here, bending those knees if you need to. Feet are flexed, heels are pressing into the mat, lifting out of the waist as you twist. Shoulders really have to stay down away from the ears with those arms overhead. Take it all the way to our mat now. Let's get a little bit of pelvis rotation. Ball can come in between your inner thighs if you want to, as you take your legs over to your right and to your left. This time our shoulders and our arms anchor into your mat as you lift that hip, taking the hip, the knees, the feet over to one side, coming all the way back to center. Use your breath as you inhale the legs over, exhale, pull the belly deep to bring your knees back over your hips. Once we've done a couple here, warming up through that pelvis, rest your feet for a moment, take that ball. If you want to now, ball is reaching right overhead, pressing the hands into the ball, and we repeat. This time we don't have the use of our arms to stabilize the upper part of the body, so you might have to reduce the range of the pelvis rotation. Press those hands into that ball. The ball shouldn't move side to side as your legs go side to side. Testing your balance here, use the obliques, pull deep on the transverse muscle to bring your legs back to tabletop. Once you're even here with the rotation, you can go ahead and bring those feet down to the floor and rest those hands. We're going into a corkscrew now. Your ball can come in between those ankles if we want. We're going to take your legs up to the ceiling or to the sky, and we semicircle them down and around to the other side. So legs are straight here. You can always bend your legs. We are moving still through the pelvis. You're lifting that hip, rotating, taking the legs side to side, pulling deep on the belly as your legs go away, making a little semicircle. Head, shoulders, arms are pressing into your mat to stabilize the upper part of the body. That ball is a good indication of whether those legs and hips are moving. The ball needs to stay really steady. Take a breath here, rock those hips side to side, releasing the knees left to right. Stretch it up, sit yourself all the way up now. We are going to finish off with some push-ups. So that ball, if you're using it, comes in between those ankles, will be on our knees or on our toes. We're going to do 6 wide arm push-ups. So set yourself up here, nice and strong. Inhale to lower, exhale, push up. In your own time, really keep focus on that form, dropping it to your knees if you need. Once you've done 6, you can drop to the knees and take a child's rest pose, stretch it out, rotate your wrists. We're going to come back. We're going to do our 6 push-ups in a bit more narrower position, tricep push-ups, up and down 6 times. Exhale to push the floor away. Inhale, lower to your level here. Finish nice and strong, squeezing those glutes. Don't let the head drop on your last one. When you have done, take it into your child's rest pose and relax there. Nice work with those push-ups just to finish off there. That ball in between those legs helps keep the legs active, helps keep those glutes engaged. We'll be coming into a bit of rolling like a ball just to round out through your back. So you're going to use your ball if you want to in between your legs as you roll back and balance on those sitting bones. Round out through that spine, relax those shoulders, squeeze those legs together, hug those knees into your chest as you roll to the shoulders, lifting those hips and then lifting the shoulders, rolling to those sitting bones. Tuck up nice and tight like a ball here. Just find your balance as you roll it back. And now let's take that ball in between those ankles. We're finishing with a little bit of our pelvic curl, a little bit of a rollover prep here. Just peeling that pelvis off your mat as you're laying down on your back. Think about inner thighs, pelvic floor, lower abs and glutes to lift those hips off the mat. Legs come towards you, but don't use momentum. If you want to stretch your arms overhead, you can do. It's going to be harder without the use of those arms beside the body, but it still comes from those lower abs, that pelvic floor, inner thighs. Control that return back to your mat. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower the pelvis back to the mat. Reach those legs up and lower with control. Lower those feet down, remove your ball. Take a breath here. You can rock those hips side to side. Sit yourself all the way up. You can come into a comfortable cross-leg position or whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to relax the head and rotate it to the left and the right now, just looking with those eyes to your left, to your right. Take the gaze up to the ceiling, down to the floor here, or up to the sky here if you are outside. Relaxing that ear to the shoulder as you drop your head side to side. Lift those arms up, big inhale, stretch out of this, and very nice work, guys. Well done. See you next time. Take care.